Hey, it's Armin with Attract. At Attract Advisors, we offer accounting advisory, tax advisory, as well as financial management services. We're lucky enough to work with very many hardworking, talented entrepreneurs across many different industries. Many of these individuals are world-class in their sphere and have great stories to tell. This is our way of highlighting their accomplishments and their insights, and we hope you enjoy these conversations. Hey, it's Armin with Attract, and today we are speaking with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jonah Fry. Jonah is the owner of Lettuce Media, and he is the man behind the magic of our podcast and many others, and he was gracious enough to come on this side of the camera today. Jonah, thanks for talking with us today.
Thank you, buddy. I feel like I'm breaking the fourth wall a little bit. It's kind of wild. It's kind of crazy. It's cool, though.
Yeah, well, so, all right, intro question. Where are you from? Tell us about it.
Most people, when they first meet me, they're like immediately, "You're not from here," and I'm like, "Correct. I'm from Colorado." So, but I've lived here for 15 years. So this is home.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, wife's from Homa, so like, I'm stuck, but I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
How did you get into your field? How early did it start?
So, when I was dirty, ratty little skateboard kid with all my friends, we made like skate videos, and we would like send them to local skateboard shops to try to get like sponsored, and like we were not good enough like to be actually like sponsored. So we would make skate videos, do like dumb, like try to be like Jackass and stuff like that, like
Right.
all that whole, like that was like what we like to do. And I love photography, took photography class. So like I love that aspect of just that kind of thing. It never connected though that like it could be a job for whatever reason. It didn't seem like that was a thing. I didn't really know how that world worked. And then I did cabinets and tile for like 2 years. And then my like first legitimate job was video and film industry and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of all I know.
Right.
I'm like a one-trick pony. It's pretty much it. Yeah.
So skateboarding and snow. Do you
Oh, yeah.
snowboard?
Yeah.
So how good of a skateboarder and snowboarder are you?
Better snowboarder than I was a skateboarder.
Okay.
Don't know why. I think because like you're attached to something, and I felt like it's less scary. You know, like falling still hurts on a snowboard, but like I don't know, I felt way more free snowboarding.
Yeah.
And it's just fun.
Yeah.
You know,
So
but skateboarding is great too.
Well, snow's softer than concrete, I suppose.
Yes, generally, unless
Right.
it's super cold in January and it's icy.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
dangerous.
well, yeah. So, okay. So you figured out that your passion could be your career. Talk about your path, intro into the industry, and then like the genesis of Lettuce.
Yeah. Okay. So when I kind of dabbled into thinking about, well, let me backtrack. I was not good at school. Not my thing. Me not being interested in it, like I didn't care if I got like an F. I was like, I hate this. Why am I even doing this? You know? And like looking back, I kind of do wish I made more of an effort in school, but it's fine. You know, what are you going to do? So I graduated high school, went to college for 1 semester at Delgado. Shout out Delgado. It wasn't in film. It wasn't in media. It wasn't communications. It was just, what do they call it? Like, it's like just the generic
General
business.
studies?
General studies,
Yeah.
like something like that, which is like, whatever, cool. So I did 1 semester of that, didn't even take my finals. I woke up, had a cup of coffee, and we live close to this place this is the lakefront, which I'm pretty sure you've been there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I just like sipped my cup of coffee, and I was like, what am I, like I need to like really do what I want to do. And so didn't take finals. I paid for it for nothing. Good learning lesson there. At the time, my brother was doing video work for a church. So he was very involved, like video production and all that kind of stuff. And I had known that, you know, because we went to the same church and all that kind of stuff. And then there was an opportunity where he was leaving, and then the guy that kind of took his job, that guy was leaving. They were going freelance and stuff. And he's like, "You want to get a job here?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it," you know? And so I started doing that. I was the youngest employee at that church, and it was cool. I had tattoos, so I was definitely like a black sheep in a way, but like I like that. That's cool. You know what I mean? So as youngest employee, started, doing just very simple videos, made terrible ones. I probably lied a little bit on my experience of like what I was capable of. And then I just like kept making as many videos as I could, and then just got better and better and better. And I had a couple mentors at that church that would just ask them questions constantly. Like they were my YouTube, and I was just kept doing that. And then I worked there for 7 years. And then towards the end, probably like the last, I don't know, 2 years, I was managing the video team. So that was, and I was still editing videos, but it was a little bit of a little bit more like leadership type of thing. And did that, and then eventually I just felt like I kind of outgrew that. And everything, good terms, we still go to that church, great people. But I just felt like I was ready to kind of change it up, because I always wanted to do what we're doing now, essentially.
Right.
And so,
what year was that?
This was 2000.
They run together.
Yeah, they really do, like a lot. I think it was It was like late 2020.
Okay.
So like it was like January of 21, kind of. It was like when this kind of started to kind of happen. And so did that, and I was very, very, very chill that like 2 years before we started Lettuce. And I was just like kind of taking jobs, but I was like, it was nice. Like it was just, I would kind of take jobs, make videos, and then like have a standard of money that I wanted for that month. And I was good. Like I wasn't pushing forward. I was just like content with like X amount of dollars, and it was fine. And it was like a lot of downtime, which was also kind of nice though, because it was just a break from like being in that role that I was in, high stakes and like a high volume amount of videos.
Right.
So it was just kind of like a nice break. And I really wish I took that more for granted, because like when I look back, I was like, I was chilling. It was like I was chilling.
No kids,
like chilling. And then I made a video for my friend. He's a real estate agent. We did this cool like more of like a creative style video, I guess, like just like a basically like he was telling a story about like the house that he grew up, and they were selling it. So like we got in the house, and he just did like this cool voiceover narration, that kind of thing. And then he pointed it back to his business. And so title attorney that my friend works for, Jared Miguez, he saw that video and he was like, I want that. Like, I want that in our business. I want whatever that is. Like, we want to integrate that into what we're doing. And so, and I was still like very team freelance, even though like I had this idea of having a production company. I still like, it was just kind of in the back burner, and probably I was a little afraid to do it.
Yep.
Like I just felt unclear on that whole thing, and met Jared, we talked, and I was like, hey, look, I just like, we'll make your content. Like I'm chill, you know what I mean? And then we kind of started talking more, and he was asking me about my goals and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of like got the fire burn. I was like, okay, this is cool. And if you've met Jared, you haven't met quite many people like him. He's a very unique person.
He is.
And but he's awesome. I mean, he's very, very smart, and there's a lot of qualities that I want that he has, So we met, and then we eventually just kind of came to the solution that we were going to partner up and create Lettuce Media. And then you fast forward, and here we are.
Right. And he's a hard guy to say no to, probably.
Yeah,
huh?
For sure. Well, he's so convincing, and but he's you can trust what he says just implicitly. Like there's no guesses there, but he's definitely a convincing guy. And so we've been doing this for a little over 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said too about the like it being a little, scary or scary in the right word,
like
but
intimidating almost.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, truth be told, and I've said this before, but like John is much more the entrepreneurial spirit on our end.
Sure.
And had I never met him, I'd still be, and not that there's anything wrong with it, but sometimes it takes a nudge to like kind of show you the light a little bit.
Sure.
He was definitely that for me. And it's funny you said about me, guys. I can totally see that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, so talk about all the different things that you guys are doing now, because I know you're doing a lot of different things.
Yeah, which again, that too wasn't in like my playbook. So like I was also in the film industry too, like in the mix of freelance and stuff like that. And you know, I was like, I want to make movies and I want to do filmmaking. And kind of around that time, the film industry just was crap in New Orleans. You know, and like, you know, there's a lot of agencies, but then, you know, it's such a tight knit community. It's kind of sometimes hard to get in. And you started as a gaffer, bottom of the totem pole, arguably one of the most important roles is being a gaffer,
Sure.
Right? Like making sure things don't fall and setting up lights and like all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I really didn't want myself to go to that level just to climb up. I was like, I just want to do it. Like why can't we just build that? You know what I mean? Maybe a little ego there. I don't know, probably, but, and so it was very film focused. And then once we started that content, like COVID just turned people into phone using machines, like even way more so. And so everyone was on their phones, and then content started becoming a thing. And then I think TikTok was around at that time. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm trying to remember. Or it was like Musically at that point.
Right.
But phone usage and like creating content just really started to like just explode. And so I was kind of thinking about getting in more into that phase, but also with what I've learned in the film industry as far as like technique, lighting, and like more elevated, right? It's not just a phone. We're using really expensive cameras, lighting gear, really good audio. So like pairing something casual but making it look really, really highly produced is kind of like that sweet spot of what we live in and want to and continue to do. But like, you know, we do podcasts now. We have like 6 podcast clients. One is y'all, and y'all are great. And that's something I never thought we would do. We do a lot of listing videos, like real estate listing videos.
Right.
And then your typical like testimonials, brand photography, product photography, and documentary style stuff like for like telling a story for a business, right? Like a bank or something like that. So still very involved in most things video. I'm trying to think of something that we like really don't do or won't say yes to, because I'm like, if I feel like we can do it, I will say yes. I'm like, yeah, we can handle that. And then I'm like, oh boy, I got to figure this out. Like we just did a live streaming event a couple days ago, and like I really don't have any expertise in that, but like I know enough to figure it out, and it was a good success. So like now we're probably not going to keep doing those. We may have people ask, but yeah, anything video. And then obviously like short form batch content that like Gary Vee kind of paved the way in that. And I feel like we kind of paved the way in our area to show local businesses like, hey, this is a really easy, low bar thing to do to tell people about your business and make you more of a, people get just really more familiar with you, you know, and then they meet you and they're like, oh, I saw your videos or whatever. It's just, it's lower hanging fruit marketing, but it works and people are familiar with you. So, yeah, really content.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and it's funny you say that about COVID too, because like with us, we're an accounting firm, like what the hell are we doing doing a podcast? But with us, we had a few people in mind that we wanted to kind of showcase because they were really cool people to us, you know, and it was mentors, it was, you know, clients, but, you know, companies, small business owners that we partnered with that it's like, man, this person in their space is lightning in a bottle. I mean, they're just gold, and just giving somebody a platform to watch it or to try and ask the right questions to where I know that this person has something really valuable to say. I just got to pry it out of them. Sometimes it's real easy. Yeah. Sometimes you got to get the crowbar a little bit, but like with us, we and truth be told too, you know this, we stumbled out of the gate pretty hard thinking that we could push record. And apparently there's a hell of a lot more to it than that since we failed like 3 or 4 times. But like, you know, it's, and you know, the same thing was, you know, we're busy. Is this really going to be worth it? You know, because we're busy and, you know, it costs a little bit, whatever, but like time, you know? Yeah. And we've gotten such good feedback, and it's not, and it really, and I mean, you know, some people may not believe this, but for us, I mean, it's really like John and I really felt like, oh yeah, it'd be cool if people saw us get our name out there. But we were like, man, some of these people that we work with are just so cool and so good at what they do.
Sure. Yeah.
And you know, it would be so cool to be able to showcase some of these people, you know. And so, I mean, it like with us, you know, and again, if anybody's on the fence about doing it, or, you know, I'm a dentist or I'm a lawyer or whatever, like who's gonna want to check this out? I mean, for us, our only regret is that we didn't start doing it sooner.
Right.
You know, and I mean, we've had our podcast win people work. We've had our podcast win people, give people jobs. And it's like, we get this phone call and it's like, you're not gonna believe this. Like somebody watched a podcast and like offered me this crazy job, things like that. Right. So, I mean, we haven't even been doing it that long, and it's been cool. But so
that's the whole point. Like when podcasts took off for us, because I had produced podcasts before, but it was more camera work and setup. But when we started actually producing this stuff and really seeing the power, just like what you're talking about, is if you're a dentist, a lawyer, whatever, like a professional, it really doesn't matter. Right. But when you're giving people value, like what you're talking about, like you give them a stage to talk about what they do in a very chill manner. And people do watch. They may not comment, they may not like it, but they're watching and seeing it. And like when we found that out, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is such a good way to utilize talking about your business, but even just showcasing the people that you work around, because everybody wins in that scenario. It's like, of course, that like anybody can do one, you know? Right.
No, it is, man. It's so cool. Like, and I guess I won't drop a name, but I'm thinking of one person we did it with, and he owns a business here in town in Baton Rouge. And when John and I started working with him, and we knew him tangentially, you know, kind of knew him from the outside looking in. But when we started working with him, like, man, this dude, he built it completely on his own, and he has a secret sauce.
Sure.
And he's carved this out. And you know, he's out there. I mean, you know, I'm sure he gives interviews and things like that, but we thought it would be cool if we could try and showcase that too, you know? And it's funny for me, and I know I'm doing too much of the talking.
No, you're good.
But it's funny for me because my dad did, you know, he was a press secretary for the Department of Agriculture and Forestry forever. And before that, he worked for some different newspapers. He passed away a couple years ago, but like, it's really kind of crazy for me because, like, you know, and everybody's like, man, I wish I could talk to my, you know, my lost ones, loved ones, and all that. But like, I wish my dad could see what I'm doing and also give me some pointers and tell me, since I'm a freaking accountant, what are you doing, son? Like, do this and that, you know, because he was good at it. He did radio shows and things like that. So it's cool for us. But again, it is valuable. And I think, like to your point, at this day and age, people are if you put the content out there, I mean, it's going to be consumed.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
And I remember telling you, like, because I don't watch TV hardly ever, you know, but the one thing, you know, I'm kind of into bourbon, and found these guys on YouTube a couple of years ago, the Bourbon Junkies, shout out. And, you know, their production is like good.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I started watching these two guys when they were doing it in like one of the dudes' gym, like basements, and the lighting was non-existent. The microphones didn't work. Like the quality was so bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And you see where they are now. And I remember like pulling up a video the first time we were talking, like these guys, like this looks like a produced TV show.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just these two clowns doing it, and they have learned the hard way, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, we can, it'll look like that. And I was like, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know? And so, I mean, for us, it's a minimal investment to something that's like kind of near and dear to us. But so talk about the team that you've got now, because I know you guys are
growth mode.
Growing, right? Yeah, in growth mode. So talk about the team right now.
So right now, it's funny you say that. We had our quarterly meeting, I think it was yesterday, about like, and we always go over our org chart every single quarterly just to remind people, like, you know, just a good refresher, right? And like talk about our values. And I always, I don't say what they are. I like try to have everybody say what they are. And I was like, all right, let's keep knowing what our values are.
Yeah, because you guys are on EOS.
Yeah, we're on the And so, which it'd be kind of fun to talk about too, just that whole thing, because was very unfamiliar to me, until we started. And I was like, oh, of course you need to be doing that. Like it's the foundation of like how you can keep track of things and stuff like that. So we have Jared, he's kind of marketing and business development. He knows everybody and their mom, and so he's kind of over that and really sees opportunities, whether that's if we events that we want to either sponsor, get involved with, stuff like that. So he's that's his area. And then we have Lauren Navarre, which is basically our CFO essentially. So she's the financial woman really. And so she's handling all that, and then a little bit on the operations side, not like heavily. And then Zachary, which he's a photographer, video guy, editor, very, very creative. Like he's very, very talented. And he had been on my eye for a long time. Like even when I was working at church, I was like, dude, one day, like we're gonna work together at some point. And he'd be like, yeah, man, whatever. And then we kind of went our separate ways, career-wise, and then it all kind of worked out. In February, I was like, hey, buddy, you wanna get on the ship? And he was like, absolutely. So that was really cool. And then me. And then I guess my title is creative director, which like that's such a joke. Like no one knows what that is, but like by kind of like visionary creative director, that's kind of my job. And then I'm doing everything else too. You know what I mean? Like as you own things, or as you own a business, you kind of, you know your financials, all that kind of stuff. So I'm all up in it for the most part, And then we do have like a subcontracting team, which, that's more on like we're really overloaded this week. We got to send this out. And there's local people. We don't send it out to like other countries or anything like that. And that's, we don't all consistently use that, but like when we need it, we'll do it. Or if we have a shoot, like a bigger budget shoot that needs more crew, we'll have them, subcontracted out to, help us get it done. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah. So still, I mean, it's not a big team. We do a lot for the team that we have.
Yeah, y'all do. Well, and so we mentioned Traction, and for those who don't know, entrepreneurial operating system, book called Traction. We are Traction disciples. If you don't have it, you should read it. It is basically the instruction manual to running any organization. And so, this being like kind of new and kind of scary and all that, how do y'all use that, and what has that done for you?
So I guess and I will admit this, I'll die on this hill. Creative people are not good at, generally, like surface level, generally not good at organization, and in some instances like leadership skills, right? And this is like, don't come at me by saying, but it's like it's a general thing, right?
Yeah.
Or like finishing things sometimes, and because when you're creative, and it sounds weird because like we're all people, but like there is like we work a little differently than other people that are like by the books, whatever, less creative people. Which,
accountants.
Sure, yeah. And it doesn't mean that not everyone's creative. It's just in their own ways or whatever. Right. But and for me personally, like tapping into creativity and not really thinking about structure was like I did not have structure. There's zero. Like I would like I was for due dates and stuff like that, really trying to like basically having structure has made us so much better and would make any creative person better, whether that's like how it's in your business, SOPs. Like we zero SOPs when I was when I was by myself, zero. And there's so many things like that you can build in to create structure and then track metrics too. So like what's hard, or what we've learned, is what we do is an art form, right? I mean, sure. Essentially it's an art form, whatever it is. There's creativity behind it, there's thought and all this kind of stuff. But when I learned that you could track that and you can have metrics with that, I was like, I blew my mind. I was like, we can actually like create a system and track this stuff to see how we progress or what maybe we didn't progress in or whatever. And so it's changed the way how we do business, and it keeps you honest too and accountable.
Right.
Like, hey, did you do this? Did you maintain this relationship? Did whatever? And And then if your numbers are down or something was more of a focus, you know why. It wasn't just like, I don't know what happened, man. Like, you know, so it's like, it's so simple, but like, if you don't do it, you should be.
Yeah.
Like we have EOS meetings for my family, you know, it's not every week, but like once a month, like a check-in, you know,
Right.
goal setting. So, super important. And I'm happy that and again, I wish I did it sooner and knew about it, but you know, the time is now. So.
Well, and you know, and you say about the stereotypes and all that. I mean, look at it. Like, we're a bunch of accountants, and we're like, oh, well, shit, filming a podcast, how hard can it be? We bought a bunch of stuff, and we filmed 3 with like one of them had no sound, one of them camera, like we had to refilm 2 of them, and like how embarrassing was that? So to your point, you know, about everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses. Yeah, like we could not do it.
Right.
And had we done it, it would have been a video. Yeah. A single frame video. Yeah. No editing, no intro, no nothing. I mean, it would have been what we were afraid it was going to be. Right. Which is a bunch of accountants trying and failing, you know? Sure. And I mean, and again, I mean, like John and I say, I mean, we just didn't know if, you know, we limped into it, obviously, and we didn't know if it would be worth it, and it has been totally worth it. Yep. And and again, our only regret is not cheaping out on and having this arrogance to think that we could do this, which we totally could not. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we're so thankful. I mean, if anything, for what you guys do for us, because it, you know, like half of your worst effort would be 10 times better than our best effort. And I don't even know how, like it's so far different. And so, but, and, you know, and you talk about EOS too, like I've said this to somebody and it was a business owner, and they had an initial meeting with an EOS coach, and they were like, yeah, well, you know, our business is just really unique. You know, I just don't. Yeah. And I told him, I was like, look, man, and I hear you, and I'm not trying to sell you. You know, but
it's not like you're making money by this recommendation.
Yeah, no, I'm telling, but I've never, and this is a true statement, I've never met business owners, a group, whatever, that did EOS and regretted it. Yeah. You know, 100%. And I said, I think you could run any organization, any business, anything, a church, a nonprofit, a military. I mean, I think you could use, I mean, because it's just a framework, you know. Yeah. And it is. I mean, it's kind of like once you start doing it, it's like, man, how did I ever get out of bed without doing this? You know. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, where are you guys going? What's next for you guys?
It's definitely, I think about this a lot. In the past couple weeks, I've been really thinking about, like, we don't want to become, 2 miles wide and an inch deep, right? Like we want to be a millimeter wide and miles deep, as much as you can, right?
I love that.
Hone in as much as we can, like, and kind of like Chick-fil-A model in a sense, like it's solid always, you know, and it's like the service is really good, communication is good. So really just developing ourselves. And a lot of that has to do with my own self-awareness and leadership too. Like, you know, I've noticed, like, and obviously the team aspect, everybody brings the company forward, but at the end of the day, like, if I'm not doing things that I need to be doing, we're like, nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So like, I need to push myself and go beyond that. So like, that's an overarching, always going to happen, right? But as far as like what we do, we definitely want to be really focusing more on strategy and not dipping our toes into becoming an agency. Like, that's not what we want to do, but as close to that fence that we can get is what we want to do. And that means a lot of, you know, more phone calls, more check-ins and kind of like reviews in a sense, and really being involved in that aspect, so where, you know, everyone can grow and get better. Getting more involved in obviously the target audience. If you're not talking to your target audience, like, what are you doing, right? And so that's a huge thing that we're really trying to build on. And this is pretty, about a month, like realizing, like, we don't just want to give you a video and not really be in contact or say, hey, let's change direction. Let's kind of do more of this. Really be more involved, like we are, kind of like how y'all are, like a fractional company with you guys. Like we're a casual creative partner, but we're a pro team that gets it done. And so more of that, really making everyone feel like we're partnering with them a little bit less like they're hiring us for something. And so that's huge. And then of course, like a way bigger team, and more efficient as well. And then we would love to do like big commercial work for sure. We're all capable of it. We've done it, and the film industry definitely needs to come back here more for that to be a little bit better, but also just grow and make people think, like when they think video in our area, they think of us.
Right.
You know, like we want to be that standard, because there really isn't one where we are. As far as, you know, you have bigger marketing companies, but we want people to think, when they think video production, it's us, you know, in St. Tammany. And, you know, Mississippi, we dabble, but like we're really trying to focus on creating that culture and educating people that this is a very good way to help grow your business. Yeah. But we want people to think of us when that's the first thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and you know, there's similarities like on the partnership side, because it's so funny, because when people ask me what I do these days, it's like, man, I help like 30 different companies run.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we do feel like we're part of the team, because I mean, you know, if you don't, are you providing the best? You know, are you really doing the best that you could be, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, and I can say you do a very good job at that, because, I mean, again, we can't, as it relates to doing this, we can't walk and chew gum at the same time. And you've guided us so well to like, why don't we do this? You know, and probably for us, and again, you know, non-creative people, accountants, I mean, we need that probably more than the average bear, I would imagine. So we've been very thankful for all that. But no, that's really exciting, man. And you guys are so talented, and I mean, we just think the world of you guys. And you know, I have no doubt that whatever goals you guys set, you're going to achieve them. So it'll be really, really good to watch.
Yeah, that's the goal, baby.
So, okay, so 2 standard questions we like to ask everybody.
Yep.
So, what's the best and worst career or life advice you've ever gotten? And you knew this question was coming, man.
Oh,
you
yeah,
filmed
definitely
all
did.
these.
Yeah, for sure. The worst, like, gut feeling, I think I've been told, like, not directly told, but kind of in conversation, like, certain risks to not take. And generally, when I kind of go with my gut, even if it's risky, like I'm willing to bet on that, you know, and you figure it out on the way. So I would say, listen to your gut more, and if it is a risk, go for it, you know, and you're not play it safe. Like if you're comfortable, you should never be comfortable ever. Like don't ever be comfortable, and in the sense of getting better, right? Or trying, expanding and doing that kind of stuff. I think the best advice I ever got is probably why the company's name is Lettuce. Would probably be the best advice. Do you know the story?
I've heard it a long time ago. I want to hear it again.
That's probably what it is. But basically, we'll do the quicker version. But my dad in the late 70s, him and his buddy went to California. They wanted to go to San Diego. They wound up in Northern California, like farm country, had no money, no car, nothing like that. And they look over and they see a lettuce farm. And they're like, well, let's see if we can work there. And then they ended up staying there for like a month and a half. They stayed with the owners in their house, and they were just hanging out. They loved it. They were just farming lettuce. That's what they were doing. So fast forward, I'm one of 4 one of 4 brothers. And when we had something hard to do, or like something that we didn't want to do, all my dad would say would just pick your lettuce. You got to pick your lettuce. And the idea behind that is you got to do the things maybe that you don't want to do to get you to where you want to go. And it's all just a journey, right? And it's never the destination. You're always you're picking your lettuce. Every single thing you do is picking your lettuce. And so it's not necessarily the vegetable, it's more the story behind lettuce, but that's probably the best advice, is just believe in yourself and pick your lettuce.
I love it.
You know?
I love it. Man, I love it. So Okay, so last question, and again, you know what this one's coming. So bringing it back to accounting, and I know you guys are on EOS.
Yep.
But like your account, like your accounting and your numbers, since you started the business and now like how you guys look at that and think about that, how does that your finance and your accounting integrate in your like decision makings and day-to-day running the business?
It is very important, and I would probably say that a lot of creative individuals may not think about their money in the sense of a business. Like if you're freelance, like all that money is all your money, and then you pay rent and you do this. But having like a reserve, so knowing where your numbers are, so you can project for the future, is super important. And then when you really know your numbers, sometimes you'll be like, oh, that's awesome. And then sometimes you're like, oh, we should definitely not buy that gear or that camera. Like that's not something that needs to go somewhere else or whatever. And so it's very, very important to know your numbers. And honestly, for me, like if you're the business owner and you're doing all these things, you have all these hats, maybe shop it out and have somebody else look at it and you know, kind of a third party to come in and be like, hey, we're again, like we set up this podcast, but then you guys are the money people.
Right.
You guys are really good at that, good at numbers. So it's like, if it makes sense, it's very, very important to have your business function properly and be on the, I guess the behind the scenes of what's actually happening, you know, because I feel like a lot of people don't know their numbers. You know, I mean, they like see the total, but then when you got to break it down and really have that all make sense, you know, because if it doesn't, you're kind of, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, you can't grow if you don't know, you know, where you're going to be, or what you need to do to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
You know,
no doubt.
You got to pick your accounting lettuce.
That's right. Pick your financial lettuce.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I might have to write that one down.
Coin it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, look, we are so thankful that you guys are working with us because, again, it was catastrophe and calamity before. And think you guys are so uber talented and everything. And, you know, you guys always, you know, and you talk about like being loose from a creative standpoint, but like from the outside looking in, like as, you know, a partner, I was about to say customer, but as a partner, you know, you guys have a schedule. We do the shoots, you know, you guys meet your schedules. I mean, it's coming off without a hitch from us. So, I mean, we absolutely love what we've been doing and can't thank you guys enough for everything. And yeah, man, appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Look, you guys are fun. And like, and you know, I know you like the kind of, you guys are accountants, but like you're really fun people and you're, you know, and the fact that you guys are even doing this in this instance, not many people I think in your industry are doing this kind of thing. And maybe they are, but you guys have a really good approach on cultivating the culture too and helping your people out. So I think that's awesome. So we're just as excited to be on the back end and staring at a screen, making sure that your skin is the right tone.
Yeah.
And,
right.
you know, but yeah, you guys are great. So
cool.
Well, every time I come to Baton Rouge, generally I don't like it, but when it's with the tract, I'm happy to be here. So it's a good time.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, thank you. And catch us on the next one.